Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Creased Studios. Woo! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Creased Gallery. Today is something a little special for me because we are taking a look at one of the, I would say, first full animated shorts I've ever made. This was for a 2D animation class in college that I did, all in After Effects and Illustrator, that taught us how to use rigged puppet animation. We came up with the short concept of storyboards and stuff. The reason these little projects mean so much to me is because my dear admiration for all things animated. Animation is really the key cornerstone of what really got me into art and doing the arts as a full-time thing. Some of the best media and my favorite films out there are animated stuff, like Monsters, Inc., which is my all-time favorite movie.
You called him. You called Randall.
The Iron Giant.
That missile is targeted to the Giant's current position! Where's the Giant, Mansley? Well,
Ratatouille.
I killed a man with this thumb.
Incredibles and most of Pixar's lineup. To the Spider-Verse films. DreamWorks films.
I get a donkey who's wonky, yo. Fee, fee, fi, fi, fo, fo, fun. Shrek ain't no average ogre, son.
Some of the most engaging TV happens to be animated stuff, like Gravity Falls. The recent X-Men 97. The Simpsons, South Park, Futurama. All 800 Scooby-Doo shows. Those early seasons of SpongeBob. If done right, animation could be that special medium that mixes everything that is great about art into one thing. From the art itself, the voice acting that goes behind it, and like every other show, the script and the writing, all goes into what makes an animated project. So that's kind of why I went towards that path in my initial college career, is trying to do something with animation. So now let's look at my first complete project, a 30-second short film of a scientist in his lab. Please enjoy. I don't know if you can call really 30 seconds a short film, but I will, because I want to show you all the behind the scenes that made that video happen. Now with every animated project you have to start with storyboard. And the reason storyboards were so important with this project is because we were working with Illustrator and After Effects with puppet animation. So with puppet animation, you need to have all your assets done and ready to go. Since you are manipulating a drawing or a vector image that you've made, you cannot just change things on a fly like you can with a drawing. You need to know exactly what your character is doing in a scene so you can prepare and make Illustrator files for that. And the way you know is by making storyboards. So I have around 18 storyboards for this specific animation, and let's run through them. So we start off with this very basic setting. This whole 30-second animation takes place in one scene, so a lot less work for me. We see the basic table and flasks and the gears in the video, just a very rough idea of what's going to be on the scene. Since I don't have to move that stuff around, that can be flexible in the actual process. We have the doctor moving in with the shot with the box, another scene where he gets a little closer just for guide of how long I want him to be walking, the doctor dropping the box, all the special effects flying out of the box like the stars and the flash that you see in the final video, the doctor rummaging through the box, tossing out all the stuff, him finding this secret item. In the video it ends up being a circle, in the sketch here it's a square, so some stuff can be changed like that, but the idea of him finding something is there in the sketch. Now him finding another component for his experiment, him finding that flask, pouring the liquid onto the cube itself. In my storyboard he was kind of changing the cube into the circle, so the potion kind of makes the cube a circle. In the actual animation it just changes the color into the lollipop form. We see him scrummaging through some more stuff, finding that needle that eventually turns the circle into the lollipop shape, so we just kind of skipped the step in the final animation because time was kind of running thin. So again, the assignment was strictly for 30 seconds, so some stuff you can cut out and move. Him finding the stick for the lollipop, sticking the lollipop stick into the lollipop itself, picking up the lollipop, and finally ending the scene by exiting stage left. Another change, if you notice, instead of walking out of frame, my character just kind of sinks down into the abyss, because again, we were getting cut on time, 30 seconds, we had to make it end, and him exiting the scene, that was the only way I could think of it to get as fast as I can. Now, besides the storyboards, you have to prepare every single frame in Illustrator. You have to make every drawing. You cannot change it on the fly. So now we're going to look at all the assets made for this animation. This very rough idea of what I wanted the character to look like. He was kind of based on a couple things, like Professor Egad from Luigi's Mansion was a big inspiration, and things like Rick Sanchez and stuff like that with the crazy hair. Very basic, crazy scientist kind of stuff. This very generic background for the lab. Some more background stuff like the barrels, gears, flasks. All this stuff had to be made on Illustrator to be put in After Effects and rigged in a way where you can move. The box that he brings in with all the stuff, you can see I snuck in a little bomb there, just a visual gag. The doctor with the box itself, because the way you animate stuff in After Effects, it has to be one file. So if I want the doctor interacting with the box and animating the box, to make it a lot less complicated, I just put it in one file. A side view with him in the box, him with the flask, him by himself, him with the stick for the candy, and now we get into what's kind of a turnaround. So in Illustrator, I made all these images of the doctor turned around, so if I need him from a view for any angle, I have that. So I have him front, left, right, turned a quarter to the left, and a turned quarter to the right. So all this stuff played into just that very quick 30 seconds of animation. And while I only had that class, I think once a week, it still took about a month of effort to make all that happen. While this is not the only way you can do animation with vectors and puppets and stuff like that, that was the way we were taught for the class, and even that, which is a more cost-effective and quicker way of animating everything, still takes a hell of amount of time. Which is why when you get something as special as animated projects that are that good and hold up the test of time, it really shows just how much time you have to put into it, because there is no getting around the time you have to put into a piece like this. I did one other full animation, which is a Jack and the Beanstalk kind of thing, which will be uploaded next video, but for now, I really hope you enjoyed my process and looking at my first ever short film, and hopefully in the future many more will come. Thank you all very much for listening to Creased Gallery again. If you haven't checked out the other videos, they're about Dr. Doom and Cody Rhodes in the WWE. Please check them out, I'd appreciate it if you do. Leave a like and subscribe, it helps me a lot as a small creator. And again, thank you all for listening to Creased Studios.